Hi everyone, how are y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. Today's video is going to be a lot more serious than a lot of my topics that I usually talk about. It's still like a story time, but I do think it's just really important to get stories out there because I feel like um we only really see like big news headlines. Um just kind of things that happen. It's like shock factor rather than like hearing like what actually happens during like these really big events that happen. Because school shootings happen way too often. Way too often. And I'm not trying to get political. Like, we know we're living in y'all like wake me up when the next president's here, like literally. Um, but that's not what this is about. It's about just I think talking about experience because it's like unless you experience like you don't understand what it's like. And I was watching actually the I've never seen it, but the Parkland shooter. Um and just kind of like all the information and all the families like talking to the shooter. Um, I had actually originally seen there was a clip gone viral that like it was the lawyer and the Parkland shooter. They were like sitting there and like kind of laughing and giggling during the trial, which is crazy. Um, like literally, like oh my gosh, like literally, what the fuck? And like it takes away like things like that. They take away from like the seriousness and the gravity of the situation. Like, it's just so, like, I don't remember how many people it said got killed during the Parkland shooting, but it was so many people. um, Luckily, through the shooting that happened, um, no one got killed. Like, that is like really insane that like um no one died. um so that's like it's because like people got really hurt, but knowing that we didn't like lose anyone, like that's really good. And the real reason like why I wanted to tell the story is because like I was watching the Parkland videos and I relived buried emotions that like I didn't even like realize I was still carrying. Like it's just like it's so fucked up and like um you just carry it and then just like don't talk about it and just move on with your life. Like that's like what everything felt like. But I digress. Let's get into the story. So I believe it was after a weekend. I actually remember this so vividly because of this. It was after winter. It was during January when we were coming back to school. And I remember like literally the day before the shooting happened, um, there was like water pipes that burst in the school or something. So we had like an extra day off. So like we had already had this long break. I don't know if it was like the first day back to school, but it was like this long ass break, like winter break. I think we maybe had went to school the week before, but it was right after that, and then we had like an extra day because the water pipes burst in the school. It's really not important to the story, but like it's just like crazy. Like you remember like the small things, I guess. So I rode this bus to school, like, as normal. The school was pretty far away from my house. It was pretty far away from town in general. Like, it was, like, on the outskirts of town. I don't really know why, but, like, um, it was just super far away from town. And I got off the bus and walked through the front doors like normal. And there were two things you could do in the morning whenever you went to school. You could either go to the gym, it's the gymnasium, and um like everyone gets separated by grade. And this was middle school, by the way. Like crazy, crazy. Um so you only have three grades. So they separated like three sections of the room to like sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. This is America. Those were the grades that were in my middle school at least. And I would go there all the time, 99% of the time. 99% of the time I went there because like the other way is you would go eat breakfast in the cafe. And I just didn't eat breakfast. Like I just I don't know, it wasn't my thing as a kid. Like I didn't like breakfast food too much. I liked pancakes and that was it. Like pancakes, no syrup, no nothing. Like I liked pancakes. And like they had like muffins and like all that. Like I don't know. But I remember this day in particular. It's like literally like the craziest like feeling in the world. Like I just like felt so like I literally was walking in and there's like a crossroads where like you're either going to turn to the cafe or you're going to go to the gymnasium. And I literally like I came to like a full stop like in that crossroads and I literally felt like I was like being guided to go get food. Like it was so weird, like so like at the time I didn't think much of it, like but it was kind of weird. It's like, okay, we're in a moving hallway with everyone's just like moving. A lot of kids, by the way, we got off a bus and I'm like just standing like in the middle and I'm like thinking and I'm like, do I really want to get food? Like I never get food. Like why would I want to go get food right now? Um, I started going to breakfast like a couple times because my friends were there, but today in particular, I was like, no, like I'm not feeling hungry, but like I'm just gonna go anyways. So, I went towards the cafe, sat with my friends, um, and then it was like maybe like 5 minutes or something went by. Maybe I don't even know. Like again, this was a long time ago, but like it just like the very beginning of it, it was just like, whoa, whoa. So we had like this big bell that would go off when it's like, okay, time to go to your first class. But I think like the bell had went off and we just see people like literally just like running in the halls. Like literally running like so like frantic, so crazy. And we were like so confused. I think we had went to our first class and I remember we just kind of felt like weird or frazzled. And I think they had came on the intercom and just told us to go into lockdown. And we were like, wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? Um and then this is the part that I mean like literally scared the hell out of me. Mind you, we are like sixth to eighth graders are between the ages of like 12 to 14. Like literally what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Um there was this girl who had ran into our class. Like she wasn't a part of our class, but like we had like half of our class there. Like things were just like weird. Like we're like, why is half the class not here? Um like things were kind of weird, like the bells and like people were frantic. Like it just, it was odd. Things were odd, but they were happening really fast. And then this girl, she comes to our class and she's like hysterically just like, she's like literally just like hysterically sobbing, just like going off about like everything that had just happened. Like, I don't even think it was necessarily like the correct story or just like like it was just like back to back, just like, oh my gosh, like there was this guy, he had a gun and like all these things. And like I think the teacher, he was just trying to like calm her down a little bit. And I was frazzled too because like I was just a really shy kid, and I actually knew this girl who like had ran into the classroom, and she was like a year or two older, and she was an athlete. Like she was just a boss ass bitch, and like to see her like frazzled like that, it things just felt really heavy all of a sudden. Like the energy just kind of changed completely in the room, and like now we kind of have an idea like, oh shit, like there was a shooter in our school. So yeah, she comes in, and then we're kind of just sitting in class. I think they put us in lockdown, and we're all just like so confused as to what to do. Like people are like, starting to freak out, and then like people are texting their parents. We're not supposed to have our phones, and like people were texting their parents. Like I don't, just so much was going on. So much was going on. So bitch, we're like in this class and like hours are going by and like we're just like really scared and like we don't know what to do. Um I remember throughout the whole day I keep thinking of like that one moment where I'm like in the hallway. Just like feeling so confused but so grateful. Okay, I think okay. So I was just feeling super confused, like I don't know, we're trying to be like really lighthearted, but in the back of my mind I was like, I don't know, I just felt weird, like just unsafe. I think that's like, I don't know, like we kept things lighthearted, but it was just not um I don't know, it's hard to remember because like we were in that room for so much time. We didn't know too much, so like I was probably just like having fun with my friends, like what you do in middle school, and like we don't really know exactly what's going on. I mean, people are freaking out and everything, but like I don't know, we're still kids. So we sit in this room for, I don't even know how long. I don't even remember like what we were really waiting for. Like the teacher was confused. All of us were confused, and um we just wanted to be on the know. And when time kept going, like what would you call it? Like people's anxieties were starting to go up, people's worries were starting to go up, like things were not like doing okay, people are trying to think of things, people were talking about like what is even happening, people were trying to come up with um like explanations, like, oh, I saw this or that, I saw that. But I think everyone that was in our classroom was literally um from the cafeteria, which makes a lot of sense, like why we were not in the know on a lot of things, because no one from like the gymnasium had like came into our first period. Like we had all went to like our first period, even though like so many weird things had went on. Like we had just went to our first period like we normally would do, because we only had we had 4 minutes I think between classes, so like you had to bust your butt to get to class. um But I remember after, again, like, it was probably like 2, 3 hours that we were just like in class, and we were just like, what the fuck? We finally had gotten information that we were gonna get like moved to the buses, I believe. I think that's what the first place they took us. They pretty much like lined us all up. Um, I think we had actually all went to the gymnasium. Because that's pretty much like the only room that can fit like the whole school of students. And they had loaded us up on like all the buses so that they can take us somewhere where all our parents can pick up. Because this was a big thing. Like people like since people were talking to their parents, like letting them know kind of what's going on, like people's parents were freaking out. Like people were the parents were like outside the school, like driving, like let us in, like all these things like they want their kids, like all these things. But I guess to keep things safe or whatnot, they had brought us on the buses so that they could take us to. They took us to the mall in town, which is like a pretty decent sized space that like all our parents can come pick us up at. Mind you, again, this was just taking like so long, and it didn't feel like too bad in the moment. Especially as time went on, like we were just making light of things, just trying to I don't even know, just like not think about it and all these things. But just so many serious things were going on. Like it was um like I don't it was just crazy. We get on our buses and then we get to the mall and I'll let y'all know the whole shooting incident, by the way. But like, this is all we know right now. Like, we're literally just like they're herding cattle and bringing us to the mall where we can hopefully like see our family. I don't even know how I got in contact with my family because I didn't know if I had my phone or like I had to like maybe use someone else's phone because again we're not supposed to have our phones and like um we have like this big thing going. So we get to the mall and we're just waiting. Again, just so much waiting, so much time where like your thoughts are just kind of going a little crazy, you know what I mean? Um and then I see my aunt. I had contacted my aunt to be like the person to pick me up. I don't remember how they got everything situated, how we were able to like find people, or if they used like an emergency contact list or something. But my aunt was the one who picked me up. Um, I don't. Both my parents work, and then my aunt like she just wasn't working, so she picked me up, and we just like kind of hugged, and like it was just like for a moment like I felt like good that I'm like okay like I feel like a little okay that I'm like with my family. And then we get home and the news is already like going crazy on like everything that happened. Like we're finally starting to get some information about what exactly happened. There was one shooter who was a student and then two people who got injured. Um One she had got her arm shot and the other kid it he got shot in the face. Um, and I believe there were like a little bit of spread to other parts of the body, but like it primarily got his face. And the gun was a shotgun, a sawed off shotgun that the shooter had gotten from his dad. That makes it sound like his dad gave him the gun. Like it was like I believe it was locked away. Like it was like with a bunch of hunting rifles or something. But he had gotten it and then he brought that to school in a duffel bag. and just literally shot into the crowd of students. I believe it was two shots actually. Like he shot the ground and then shot at the crowd. But like I'm trying to like think in my head like how does that even work? But basically like there was one shot that like hit the crowd, you know what I mean? And then there was a teacher who was able to like he saw him like with the gun. After that shot he had like gotten close and was able to kind of restrain him down a little bit and get the gun away from him. So we're getting all this information whenever I got back to my aunt's. Um, I don't know. We were just kind of relaxing. They're like, "Oh, you're okay." All these things. I remember someone had said like, "Oh, you're okay. There's nothing to worry about," and then like we just kind of moved on, and I'm like, okay. Um, like just thinking because I didn't actually get hurt or something that I'm somehow okay that like a classmate had shot and almost killed two people, possibly so many more, like insane, insane. And then I think my aunt dropped me off at my mom's work because I remember I saw my mom for the first time at her job after the shooting. And I remember just like the hug that we had was just like, just like, thank God you're okay, Will. Like, oh my gosh, like, what, what on earth? Um, and we go home. We have like a few days where we can supposedly go to school or not go to school, or I don't know. I think they gave us like one day off and then like you can go to school or stay home. Like they gave us like the choice. I think I had talked to my parents about it and like I don't know. I remember I ended up going to school and they were telling us so much about the shooting. Um, we had known so much about like all the information. And here's what happened. There was this one guy. Um, he was just getting pretty heavily bullied at the school. And that's why he decided he wanted to take matter into his own hands and bring a gun to school. Um, the media was literally insane. They were trying to make a link between the shooter and the two victims. One was a guy, one was a girl. They were trying to literally say that it was like a love triangle. He shot a shotgun into a crowd with sprayed bullets. But yeah, it's like he's trying to do like it wasn't a targeted attack. Like it literally just like hit them. You know what I mean? And so I actually knew the shooter and he was like honestly like a pretty like he's my friend. I remember the week before like anything had happened. I remember texting him because he really liked this girl and like um I don't know, he wanted like romantic advice, I guess. I don't know. We were kids, but like, middle school is when you start dating and stuff too. Um And it just felt really weird. I felt so like, whoa, like it just felt weird. Like I wasn't like a super close friend, but like I would consider him my friend. I had no clue he was being bullied at all. Like middle school's really rough. Like I was really bullied in middle school, you know. But I had like no, he was really nice, and like every interaction I saw people had with him, like it was really nice, you know. Um, but not only was he a friend, like he was connected to like a lot of people like in my circle. Um, I knew the one girl because her mom worked with my mom. Apparently we had a lot of interactions when we were a lot younger, but like I really don't remember. Um, and then the guy who took the absolute like most damage, like I mean, just straight up his face. Um, I didn't know him at all. Um, and even now, I don't think I've had one interaction with him. I just like, I never had a class with him or anything, or um, I never had an interaction with him. I've only heard like amazing things, honestly, though. But I had never heard of anything from him before what had happened. And I don't want to get names. I don't want to give names of the school. I don't want to give names of no, like people are crazy like online or anything. Like it's just like so personal. Like it's not. I just want to speak from experience because it's like I didn't realize how much it affected me until I started watching like the Parkland things, and I was just like in a ball crying, and I'm like, oh my god. Um, it's just crazy. And so that was like the whole situation with that. And the media was trying to turn it into that little, like, whatever the fuck, like conspiracies about like middle schoolers, like, literally, like, what are you doing? You're talking about literal children. Like, I just, like, whatever. And then we get back to school and they educate us more on the situation that the kids who got shot, they have to apparently take like this nasty ass medicine like every morning, and it's because like the pellets like are in their body, and like it could become like toxic or something, so they have to like take this like nasty ass liquid medication every morning to prevent like toxicity or something in the body. I don't know, but like I mean like permanently affecting their lives, you know what I mean? um that's what one teacher had said. For some reason, that fact spoke pretty heavily to me. And they had counselors like on site, and I remember I was just like, it was so on my mind. Like one of the days going back, and I was just like, oh, let me go sit with them, and like I was sitting with literally, oh my god, literally the best friend of like the shooter, and like it was me and him, and like I just like it was really hard for me to like talk or say anything of like how I felt. I think I honestly felt weird because like I had like another classmate like sitting there with me, and it was just like kind of uncomfortable. Like I thought I'd honestly been alone. I think that was kind of what was going through my head, is like it's already hard for me to talk about my feelings, and it's not like it's like group therapy, I guess. And then I don't remember him saying much either. I think maybe a little bit. But like if anything, like he should be the one that like gets to have like one-on-one time. Like I know I'm going through a lot, but like You know what I mean? Like, that's like crazy, crazy. And then since I wasn't talking, the counselor, talk about bad experiences with counselors. She's like, okay, well, if you're not gonna say anything, you're gonna have to go back to class. And I'm just like, oh, great, okay. And then I remember like I was just walking in the hallway and I was just like I just felt so defeated. And then there was this one girl, um I was in band with a lot of people. And she like we had never really interacted before, honestly. But like she honestly like saw like kind of through me like how I was feeling, and like she just like gave me a big hug, and like I just kind of like broke down in her arms, and like it was just I don't know, like there was just like a sense of community like between everyone, honestly. um and it's really hard to explain these emotions because it's like you're just unpacking so many things, like it just doesn't, things don't make sense, and like time just didn't feel real, and like I don't know, we go back to class and like we're not really doing anything in our classes, we're kind of just talking about the shootings. I think people were showing videos to us about like, you know, all these things. I mean, we did like a little bit, but it wasn't like anything crazy. And then I remember going to like youth group, and um it's just like you, like if you're a Christian, you go to like, they have like youth group where you meet up with other kids your age like on Wednesdays or something. Like it'll be a day during the week and you just meet up like in the evening after school. So you can just like hang out with people your age, and like it's like wholesome or whatever, you play games. But we were doing worship, and I remember this girl had like came up to me and she's like, "Can I pray for you? Like I just feel like I have to pray for you." And like again, just like bawling, like it's just like I just there were just so many emotions to unpack, and really confusing um thoughts in my head where I was just like um I don't know if it was exactly because like he was the shooter, or like um I felt like there was like divine intervention that was like keeping me from going over there. Um like having like friends who were like in the room that there were like gunshots, like just seeing so much trauma, and like um just having like after this week to just carry on like normal after that, like it just like nothing felt real for that time, and like it just things just kind of went back to normal after that, and people um oh my god, this is what our fucking school did. I don't know exactly how I feel about it, especially at the time. I don't think many of us thought about it too much at the time, but in lieu of the school shooting, we had our principal, she had a little, what do you call it, when everyone gets together. It's not like a pep rally where it's like fun and people are like playing sports or whatever. It's like oh, an assembly. She calls an assembly, and then she's like standing in front of us, and then she's like, "You know what? I know this is hard. I know there's all these crazy things. Y'all don't know what to think of anything." And then we're all like, "Yes, yes," like, you know. And then talk about out of touch, like, um, they made these shirts that said like grade A, and she wanted us to take like all that pain, all that suffering, and put it into us trying to get good grades for the school. Like doing good in class, doing good on our tests. It's like that's like the shit that like just like the lack of empathy, the lack of fucking um connection and conversation from especially a lot of adults is just crazy to me. Crazy to me. You want us to put all that into getting grade A? What about the people who are getting bullied? What about preventing these things from happening in the future? I don't know exactly what a solution is. I know it's heavily debated, like gun control, all those things, but like maybe we can start having conversations about that. Maybe like it's not about grades for once. And I remember even like when it was my family, like the conversation would come up. All of a sudden, we're having a debate about gun control when like two people are like their lives are completely changed. There's literally someone who was so like I don't even know what the fuck the word is for someone who does a school shooting. I don't know if mentally ill is even the right term, but like someone who just felt so hurt, so um someone who just feels so hurt that they feel like they need to hurt people. And like there's people who hurt people. There's a lot of behaviors, all these things that there's abusive relationships, there's verbal abuse, there's this difference in power, but like to actually like get a gun and like shoot up a school is crazy. The power control, we're literally children, middle school. And here I am, like, trying to get through this trauma, like, trying to, like, just understand why I'm even feeling the way I'm fucking feeling. And then I have my family being like, well, we don't need to get rid of guns. We don't, like, it's just something that happens. I don't need to hear that. I don't need to fucking hear that. And, like, I don't. Like, I think there just needs to be a lot more empathy around this conversation. I think there needs to be a lot more understanding. And I think we live in a very different world now. Kids don't know how to read. People are going into ninth grade and they're reading at a fourth grade level. Like, things are kind of getting scary, honestly. Things are getting scary. They're going in a crazy direction. I don't know what anyone has for the future. But oh my gosh, mental health. Fucking mental health. Like, we have a crisis counselor that told me to go back to fucking class because I'm not talking. Well, maybe, like, you're a bad counselor. Because I do therapy now. You're a bad counselor. I don't give a fuck. I'll say what the fuck. You're a crisis counselor for children. And, like, I guess, what are the takeaways from this, I guess? What are the takeaways? Um, as far as the solution, I don't know. I don't know. I think we can talk about things. Um, I think try to get to some understanding, but like maybe not like defend the guns in the conversation. Like that's like the dumbest fucking thing. Maybe lock your guns away. Maybe fucking like that would be a better conversation. Like maybe have better gun responsibility. Like not even talking about taking away guns, but like literally just fucking like hold people liable when shit like this happens. Like I don't know exactly the specifics of what happened in this. I don't think there was like um I'm sure he went to trial. I remember people actually talked about like there was a trial for it and it was crazy. I don't know how much time the shooter got or anything like that or if the family got charged. Um but like if we're going to have conversations, we need to be productive and we need to be empathetic because especially people who are between the ages of 12 and 14, you can't fucking unpack that. You have no idea how to like decipher those emotions. Like it's fucking insane and it's just dumb. It's fucking dumb. That I felt so many adults handled the situation. But yeah, that was crazy. And I really don't remember how we recovered from it. I just remembered like we had like the few extra days from like the week that like the shooting happened and then things just kind of went back to normal and like people like I think they maybe had like the crisis counselors for like maybe an extra week. I feel like they only had it that week though, but I remember like the following week like it was pretty much just like back to normal, who cares. But yeah, I'd say just talk about these things with light and understanding. And even if you believe like, oh, like right to bear arms, like literally just like have any gun I want, like there's a way to have a conversation about it. We don't have to get ugly. You know what I mean? And I think what's crazy is it's just like you don't realize how much it affects you. And I could only imagine like there's just so many different perspectives, like the people who, didn't have something happen, but like they saw it like in the gymnasium, like people who knew like, um, I knew the shooter well, but like the people who like knew like the victims well, the people who know like there's just so many different perspectives and I just wanted to, I don't know, hop on and share mine. And that shit happened a long time ago. Middle school. Like that shit was literally a decade ago. But um I just wanted to talk about it.